Hey y'all, how are y'all doing? I just figured I would check in really quick. I know that I've been gone for a while. I thoroughly enjoyed my holidays and my birthday, and of course Valentine's Day with my sweetie. I hope that you all did the same. It was really important for me to just unplug and be very present during that time for several reasons. I know I briefly mentioned this on my Instagram, but when I used to be more active, and even when I was building up my social media before I made the choice to become a full-time creator, which that will probably never happen again. But during the time that I was doing all of that, I would get very caught up in posting holidays and meals and stuff. I understand like that type of content is fun, but just for me, especially with it being like the holidays after, being, back in Chicago and everything like that, like I definitely wanted to unplug and just really root in enjoying that time with my loved ones. And I'm so happy I did. Like the distance and the space from social media has been amazing. As a creator, I don't necessarily miss the platform or anything. And I do still enjoy, posting and engaging in content, but I just don't think I'll ever be able to do it the way I did before, which was, being overly parasocial and, seeing followers as friends. And I will have several videos following up all of those thoughts. But the reason why I wanted to check in with this video is because I know I referenced this, before the holidays or whatever, but I have referenced this before on this channel. And I actually saw this TikTok of this guy who's like an older millennial. He's probably like my age, if not older. And he was talking about the nostalgia of growing up without social media and before technology kind of ruined everything and kind of ruined like the social structure of a lot, and how we were probably the last generation that knows what it's like to go to each other's houses and play video games and do like sleepovers and movie nights. And I'm like, yeah, like I don't even know if the kids do that. And of course now with like the video games, everything's like online, like everything's virtual. And I'm sure that people still obviously go out and hang out with friends, but with places like Blockbuster and, even like Toys R Us, even like Hollywood Video, even certain game stores closing down, like a lot of brick and mortars closing down over time, it just makes me wonder, what does the youth do for fun? And it's just so crazy that I think a lot of creators, especially the millennials that have quit, I talked about like how a lot of YouTubers are quitting. And I noticed that, they're all kind of like same age bracket, not too far, in between. And I'm sure that there are people of all ages that quit all over, right? But I think that a lot of people my age miss the way things used to be, especially if they have ever gotten involved heavily with like social media. And, we've seen the ugly and the dark parts of social media. And just, to be honest, there's a lot of people who just want no parts of it anymore because it's just so overly toxic and people are so drama focused and try to make something out of nothing. And it looks so obsessive and it looks just so gross. And we live in an anything for views culture too as well. And I don't know, it's really weird because even though we grew up with this technology and we grew up with, being introduced to social media, like some of the bare bones platforms like MySpace and stuff and AIM, seeing how things have developed now, it's just, I feel like a lot of things online have gotten so ugly. And now it's like you have to really govern yourself accordingly, all the way down to like if you are out here living your best life and you're thriving and you're happy, it's like, don't be afraid, obviously, to post and obviously feel good about yourself. But you do have to be careful because there are people out here who are just projecting so much negativity, who, if they see you out here thriving and living your best life, they will try to throw shade on it. They will try to tear it down. I couldn't even get over the fact that, you know, Valentine's Day, right? Like when I was like scrolling and stuff, the day after, you know, just posting and stuff. So many girls showing like all their big old gifts or like their nice dinners and stuff that, you know, they were taken out to. And I just posted on my IG story for Valentine's Day because my baby took me to breakfast and dinner and I enjoyed myself. And some of the comments under people's posts, like, in this economy, oh, no one cares about your expensive gifts. It's like, no one cares about your negativity. No one cares about your hurt feelings that you're so triggered, overly triggered by people just living life online. And it's sad that it's gotten this way. And I've been talking about this for a while because I've seen a lot. And obviously, being an online creator, I've obviously endured a lot as well. But hearing this man's perspective, and I'm gonna play the entire TikTok. It's like a 6-7 minute TikTok, so get ready. It'll be in the middle and I'll have my closing thoughts. It really kind of honed in my attitude and my perspective because I'm like, this is what I've been trying to communicate on my platform. And I feel like if you are a millennial or an elder millennial and you don't necessarily like the way things are going, and especially if you're a creator and let's say you are trying to take space or branch out or whatever it is you're trying to do, and maybe you find frustration because maybe your audience doesn't vibe with you the way they used to. Maybe you've outgrown your audience. Maybe you've outgrown previous communities that you've been in and you want nothing to do with them. So you're, you know, working your way from the ground up, trying to aim and target and attract new people who better suit your caliber because that's just the type of content you're making now or the type of content that you're interested in making now. If you are frustrated or if you have been frustrated with trying to get back to the roots while also, you know, being a creator or while also even just working in today's society and maybe it gets a bit overwhelming, like you definitely aren't alone in that. And I feel like this video will speak to a lot of people and I'm very curious to know what you guys think about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that video play.
Millennials might be the last generation to have experienced the world when it was still truly beautiful. And hear me out on this because I haven't been able to stop thinking about this since I realized this is where it all changed. And this is the TikTok that you're gonna be thinking about all week long. So in order for this to sink in, as long as you're not driving, what I want you to do is close your eyes. Because it's the summer of 2006. It's 10 a.m. You're just a kid. You're lying in your bed in your room and you are bored. There is nothing to do because there's nothing good on TV. You don't have a cell phone and you can't use the internet because you're not allowed to because it ties up the phone line. The whole house is quiet. And that's why you can hear the breeze outside. And that's where we all got acquainted with that bird that we came to know so well. And you are just lying there, wondering if your crush is thinking about you, wondering if there's still pizza rolls in the freezer, wondering what it is you're going to do today. And that quiet isn't interrupted by a notification. That quiet is interrupted by the doorbell. Or maybe it's one of 30 texts that you'll get this month because that's all you paid for on your plan. But your day is interrupted by your squad who shows up on bikes, or maybe they have an older sibling that came to pick you up in their vehicle, and that's like a really, really good day. And when your friends show up, that's when the whole day starts, and you all go out together, and you don't have cell phones, you're just with each other, and you talk to each other face to face. And here's the really big one, is whatever you do today is going to boil down to 3 solid options. You're either going to hit the mall, and you don't go to shop or spend money. Like, you're not going to actually do anything. It's just to be somewhere else together. And you're not going to buy anything or spend any money unless maybe you bump into your crush and their friend group, and then maybe you spend the little money that you have in your pocket to go to the movies or hit the food court. But it's not about the movie and it's not about the food. It's about the people that you're with. Option number 2 is heading over to somebody's house so that you can all be bored together. And this is where the best memories of our entire lives came from. These are the days and memories that are going to stick with you in your mind, that make you happy just remembering them, and they will stick with you until the day you die. And the thing is, they came off the back of a day that was just boring, but you were with your friends and you don't realize how special that is when you're in that moment. but you will when you're grown. And those moments are memorable because of the people that you're with. Do you notice a pattern here? Because option number 3, which is going to resonate more for the guys, but option number 3 was heading over to somebody's house for a LAN party or a Halo party, and you all just play video games together. And you're playing in the same house. And it's not really about winning, because it kind of is, but it's not. It's about the people who you are physically with. Now, I want you to open your eyes, because we flash forward almost 20 years. And everything I just mentioned still happens, but it's all been corrupted by technology, convenience, and making a buck. Nobody is bored today. Every single second of our lives is trying to be captured by a company. And these corporations are doing that in exchange for what they say is convenience. But here's the thing, even though movies come straight to our devices, we are all watching them alone. Even though we can place the order online and skip the line, we are all eating alone. You can still play video games with your friends. Gen Z and Gen Alpha love doing this. There's Fortnite wizards everywhere. Everybody loves these video games, but the thing is it's all pay to play. It's all microtransactions. You don't buy a game and enjoy it until the next one comes out. There's all kinds of DLC content that you have to pay for, but the really, really big one is that Gen Z and Gen Alpha, when they're playing with their friends are in their ear. They're not right next to them. This generation is never going to know what it's like to get a Kilimanjaro and look across the room at your friend like, what just happened? That's over. And we're not bored anymore. Every single second of our day is controlled by devices with people who are telling us how to think and what to think. I'm doing it to you right now. Your mind isn't idle. It's consuming content that's been created by someone else. And that's the final layer on this corruption of everything that used to be good about having downtime. Capitalism has brought us to this place where no one is ever bored, and goods and services are so easily accessible and so customizable that going to the mall or picking a movie or deciding what to eat is no longer about the people that we do that with. It's about us. I can skip the line, place my order online, but I'm not eating with my friends. I can watch the newest shows on my device, but I'm watching them alone. We're doing the same things today that we used to do, but instead of bringing us closer together, the things that we're doing today are isolating us from the people around us. Families watch their shows on their own devices in separate rooms today. Having friends in 2024 doesn't mean the same thing that it did in 2004. And I'm pretty convinced that human beings are not designed to operate like this. We deserve and need face-to-face contact with people who genuinely care about us and who we feel we belong in a tribe with or a group with. And it makes me so sad, but so grateful to be a part of a generation that was literally the last generation to experience the world where that still happened pretty frequently. And I guess I'm thinking about this a lot this week when every ad on my phone has been for this new Apple device that you put on your head, and your children are no longer going to recognize you as mom or dad, but just this half machine, half person thing. I know you can see straight through it to the little person who's asking you for food, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but they're not seeing you. You might see them, but we're just drifting apart as a species. And the more that we drift apart, the more that we crave the simpler times when we didn't have all of these distractions. We just had each other. So if you're a millennial and you feel like the world has lost its innocence, maybe that's something that happens with every generation, or maybe this is actually the turning point where humanity stops being what it once was. Let me know where you think we are in the comments.
That was pretty insightful, right? And even the morning dove sound, which even I remember because, I've done, different camps and stuff growing up in my childhood and, taking different trips and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I do remember the morning dove sound, but that particular sound does bring back so much nostalgia just for me. And it's crazy how separated we've gotten in society from that. Now, I'm a city girl, and I do love, the lights and the noise and stuff, but I do like to, venture outside of the city and rest or whatever. And like, even when I went on vacation with my sweetie, like that was awesome. And just, take in and soak in nature every now and then. But there were certain things that I just miss. I definitely miss the whole social aspect of growing up. Like, I know what it was like to go outside and play. I know what it was like to go to the mall and literally hang out all day, because you could. There were arcades and everything at the mall. Like, the malls are like dying now. So many are closing. Even a lot of malls here have a lot of stores closed. And like, even some of our hugest malls, like Woodfield has like closed malls. Water Tower, closed stores. Water Tower has a few closed stores. Even like 900 Michigan, like our very bougie mall, which is like pretty much like all of the luxury brands, has a couple of for lease spots. And I'm just like, I remember when all of these things used to be packed. And I am aware that the pandemic really came and hit and affected a lot. And a lot of stores, unfortunately, took like a huge hit and just are no longer. But simple ways of life just are also no longer along with that. And I do think that the reason why the conversation of kind of drifting away from social media and unplugging and understanding the importance of detoxifying your social media.
So they'll go, all right, you need 1 hour of Instagram or less per day, 1 hour or less of YouTube per day. Is a social media detox worth considering for anybody who's maybe spending too much time on social media?
Yeah, social media detox is wise. It's good to take it every now and then, especially for us who are so involved in this space. But the apps themselves are good for getting a grasp on what's going on. Yeah. But if you are thinking that's going to be a solution, you're probably mistaken in most cases. You need to figure out what a healthy balance is and be aware of when you've reached your limit. Yeah. But when you start relying on this thing to be your posture corrector, that's where you're going to run into trouble.
I love that analogy.
Life's hard is the bottom line.
And
anyone that promising you a shortcut is probably trying to make some money and not really helping you in many cases.
Or creators trying to venture out or whatever it is. I do think that the reason why this is becoming so prevalent now is because there's a part of us that misses how it used to be, and we're seeing the rapid change, and there are just things that obviously we probably don't like, and we wonder if we'll ever get that back again, or if we're just stuck in this like virtual vortex world of BS. And I don't necessarily think that anybody has to be stuck with doing the back and forth online if they don't want to. I definitely think that when it comes to unplugging, it's important to remember that, whatever your device is, your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever it is, whatever you're looking at, whatever you're engaging in is pixels on a screen, and nothing compares to in-person social interaction. And I know that there are people online who come to the internet for their social interaction because they don't get much in person. I can't relate to that. I don't know what that's like. And I hope to never know what that's like. Even people who say that they have social anxiety, so they prefer the online environment. I encourage everybody to get out there and live themselves some life. There is nothing wrong with touching grass and, expanding your mind outside of whatever device you are on 24/7. And I think also prioritizing real life over the internet, especially if you're in a position to where you can, because I know a lot of full-time creators feel like they can't unplug because they're always editing, they're always filming, and they're always go. And it's like nonstop. But to prioritize your real life over this is huge. Do not ever let the internet or any type of online culture just utterly consume you to where you lose your identity in it, because that's very dangerous. I've spoken about that on my channel before too. And to also just get back to your roots, like think about what makes you happy outside of technology. And I know for some people this can be hard, but I mean, even basic meditation. You guys know I love like bubble baths, you know. I love going out with my friends. I love socializing. I love being with my sweetie. I love being all up under my loved ones. That's how I live. That's how I always lived. And I missed it a lot, and I will never take it for granted ever again. And I know that some people just aren't as fortunate, which I do find very sad, because you have to find what makes you whole as a person, and sometimes it takes more than just a screen or, you know, doing, I don't know, whatever type of social interaction online. Like it takes like meditation, it takes self-care, it takes, you know, affirmation, it takes going out and being active in your real world, like maybe going out to the coffee shop and, you know, maybe if you're a familiar face, the baristas know your name, and just little social interactions like that, or whatever it is, or seeing your loved ones. And that is how you live a full life, disconnected, unplugged, and detached. And you start living for yourself and not for the screen. And I really appreciated like coming across that guy's video, because I definitely feel like, obviously, if I were to see that and I make a video on it, I feel like I'm not the only one that feels this way and relates to the message. And I feel like with the overall general messages that I've been trying to portray on this channel, it definitely aligns. So that's why, you know, I made a video about it. And I do want to know what you guys think, and I do want to know how you guys feel about it. And yeah, it's just really crazy how our world has developed today. And I do want to continue talking about like some of everything, like, you know, dating down to, you know, social media and how toxic it's become, different topics and things. I am kind of revamping a little bit. I will have an update for my members and for my patrons very soon, because that content is, you know, underway or whatever. So I have like a lot. I don't know if this is like an official like I'm back video, because I still like, this is like the only video I have filmed right now, and obviously I want to pre-record so I don't have to like deal with it for a while. But yeah, I hope you guys are well. This is just definitely like a little food for thought video as always. I hope that everybody was able to unplug a little bit and enjoy their holiday and their Valentine's Day. And I hope you didn't have no haters trying to hate on your Valentine's Day and belittle it just because theirs probably sucked. You know, you can't let things get to you. It's a shame that our world is struggling a lot right now, but it's not your personal responsibility to cater to the fifis of people online. You know, especially bitter people online. Don't ever let that dim your day. Like, I don't know why that mentality is so prevalent nowadays, but it's just weird. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.